Sợ thật. Cho tưởng nhá. Ôi phòng này bị tắt kích à? Là phòng khác. Mới vào, phòng này mới vào thôi. Giờ bắn xong trận này là đi danh nhá. Xóa game gì? Sao lại phải xóa game? Khổ đéo chịu được 8 ván rôm.
Sorry cho Nguyen.
Smoking grenade.
Nine, eight, seven, six, five,
Flash bomb.
four,
Flash bomb. Smoking grenade. Fire in the hole.
Chưa kịp ném quả bom luôn. Ôi ơi. Đi. Thằng chen xuống ạ. Đủ má. Đủ má. Cay cay cay. Vướng thằng kia nó nhảy nó rơi xuống. Giây cuối cùng rồi.
Smoking grenade.
five, four, three,
Flash bomb.
Cha bên này cũng chả khá khẩm hơn là mấy. Cũng lại làm zoom. Ui.
I need assistance. I need assistance.
Goes to win.
Đi đâu cũng làm rôm, khổ thế.
Smoke and grenade. Flash bomb.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Enemy spotted.
1.
Nhiều rôm ở đấy.
Double kill. Multi kill. Ultra kill.
Đấy. Đủ.
Unbreakable.
Ôi rồi. Mẹ đông thế, đằng sau đông thế.
Goes to win.
Vai. Oh my god. Bấm không kịp luôn đấy, bấm biến hero không kịp luôn.
10,
Smoke and grenade.
8, 7, 6, 5,
Flash
4,
bomb.
3, 2, 1.
Flash bomb.
Địch đã biết ngay mà. Đời lắm lông vãi. Đi. Sợ thật. Sang phòng khác cũng không khá hơn. Chỉ là làm rôm thôi. Là chuồng thủ dâm đi bạn. Chuồng gì toàn làm rôm cái này, thôi chuồng gì. Lỗi rồi. Đúng bịp thật, game đúng bịp. Mẹ cứ ép mình phải làm rôm.
Goes to win.
Nice shot.
Chả này làm rôm nữa, đi danh ấy.
Smoke and grenade. Flash bomb.
Đi danh thôi, đeo hiểu luôn. Cây vãi lìn. 10 mấy ván làm rôm mày. Sợ thật. Thôi đi danh nha. Tránh Việt nha. Thử thách 40 phút làm rôm. Từ đấy đến giờ la được 40 phút rồi, toàn làm rôm hết. Vãi cả trường. Kỷ lục ấy. Này kỷ lục ấy. Mở nhạc nghe cho nó đỡ sầu nào. Cho hiệp nhá.
Lựu đạn, né đi. Mù nè.
Ghê. Chúc mừng người được chọn. Anh tưởng làm zombie uy tín thì mới được chọn chứ. Không biết kiểu gì luôn anh ơi. Trầm cảm luôn á.
Khói nè. Lựu đạn, né đi.
Kala kìa. Ồ. Trưa nay chắc kiếm tầm 20 điểm nữa là đẹp. Top mấy rồi anh trai? Hôm nay top bao nhiêu nhở? Chả nhớ nữa. Top 5 mấy hay sao ấy, 56 hay 57 ấy. Không nhìn, nãy không nhìn.
Khói nè.
Ôi.
Lựu đạn, né đi.
Cái chen đấy nhở, đùa.
Mù nè. Khói nè.
Thì mình mạnh thế cơ à? Ấy à? Được đấy nhờ. Khỏe đấy.
Mu nè. Khó nè. Lựu đạn nè, né đi. Mu nè. Quá bình thường.
Đâu ấy? Mau à? Sao không chơi AK hả em? Em không, em có biết bắn AK đâu. Bắn snip thôi.
Khó nè.
AK khó bắn lắm, không chơi được.
Lựu đạn nè, né đi. Mu nè.
Lỗi quá, phát đây lỗi quá. Người đang đưa. Bắn chưa bén lắm.
Cẩn thận, sau lưng. Khó nè. Lựu đạn nè, né đi.
Hay lắm. Tốt.
Quá bình thường. Mu nè.
Top 56. Top 56. 281 điểm, hôm nay cày lên thuộc tầm 300 điểm thôi. Đứng ở giữa này được rồi, top giữa này là được rồi. Không cần nhiều. Vừa được nghe nhạc một tí lại phải tắt rồi.
Qua.
Đâu vậy? Chết, thằng kia không báo luôn.
Đồng ý.
Đánh B.
Khói nè. Lựu đạn, né đi.
Mình cây cửa là sai rồi, nó giặt cửa nhanh quá.
Khói nè.
Ấy à,
Lựu đạn, né đi. Lựu đạn, né đi. Khói nè. Mua nè. Đã nhận. Thắng rồi, progress. Mua nè. Ok, thế nào?
điện thoại hư loa xem chán quá.
Khói nè.
Sửa thôi chứ còn gì nữa em ơi. Hư là phải sửa.
Lựu đạn, né đi.
Bê lên, bê lên, bê lên, bê lên.
Lựu đạn, né đi. Khói nè. Mu nè.
Tốt.
Mu nè.
Hay quá.
Mu nè. Cô ba. Cô ba. Khói nè.
Mất thời gian.
Khói nè.
Quá mất thời gian.
Khói nè. Lựu đạn, né đi. À.
Phải Thanh Huy nhá. Ngon, thằng này móc ngon rồi. Kìa, cúi bê kìa. Rồi, cầu nó. Thằng kia, quả kia bắn cầu nó ngon rồi. Lại chùm cuối à? Ca ve chúa bên kia kìa. Không ăn thua. Loanh quanh hồi sinh nó, hồi sinh. Có thằng nào treo không? Ôi giời ơi, chạy. Không có một ai treo ở hồi sinh luôn. Nhanh thế, bọn này chạy nhanh thật. Hồi sinh ra cái chạy luôn. A lên đấy. Hình như bay lên thì phải. Hay.
Lựu đạn, né đi.
Ra chơi.
Cua. 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 Khó nè. Lựu đạn. Quá bình thường. Cũng tạm được. Bom hả?
Tốt.
Mua nè. Khó nè. Lựu đạn nè, né đi. Yeah.
Núp của chúng tôi.
Quá bình thường. Cũng tạm được.
Núp của chúng tôi phải được.
Yến chờ tôi. Đã đặt bom ở khu A.
Ngon. Tìm trận nhanh quá. Muốn giải trí mà giải lao một lúc mà không được.
Yến chờ
Rồi,
tôi.
team này khó rồi.
Yến chờ tôi. Khó nè. Lựu đạn nè, né đi.
Đụng má. Nó ép rồi. Mệt đấy, mệt đấy.
Whether they deserve it or not, but I thought he was a really nice guy, and I thought he was a very good guest on the show, and that's what counts for me.
Somebody asked me if I think he's a good stand-up comedian, and my answer is I don't know. I haven't seen him enough in action to judge whether he's funny, but if he's selling out the Garden and he's been so successful, you can only give the internet so much credit for that. There's got to be some talent behind that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, selling a lot of tickets isn't. Oh, it means you're successful, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're respected by your peers. And he talked about that today. He talks about. I thought it was more interesting when he was talking about all the shit he takes from people accusing him of stealing. And it seems like whenever he's confronted anyone, not in a confrontational way, but just said, "Hey, you said this stuff about me," it seems to be resolved.
The other thing he was very much aware of was when things were going well for him, he knew the other shoe was going to drop. He expected it, and everyone who was promoting him immediately turned on him and I guess called him a fluke and whatever else. But when you're doing that well, it's a lot easier to handle that kind of criticism.
Well, did he say that he's he's been doing stand up for 20 years?
Yes.
Yeah, so he probably
I would think
17.
that. Yeah, so what my odds are that he probably had a good 10 years working in shitty clubs, having nothing to do with his comedy, so he sort of knows the score.
He said he was a college comedian, like a successful college
comedian,
college circuit comedian, and he wanted to get to the next level, but was contemplating how to do it. And I guess he started emailing skits out to whoever was there on whether it was MySpace and gathered a following that just grew and grew.
And it was so great because after he had that huge success, every comedian in the world tried to do that again. It was sort of like his was a phenomenon, and it was just one of those things that just, right place, right time for that to work for him. But everybody tried to do that. Everybody. And it didn't work for anybody.
And again, selling out Madison Square Garden is no fluke.
Continually.
Yeah. Were you impressed by him today, Benji?
Well, he's a pleasant guy. He's very successful. I've always been really annoyed by all the hate for him. Like, it's same with Carrot Top. It's like, it just seems like stupid, all the hate for it. He doesn't turn me on stand-up wise, particularly. I think he's good. He's okay. But it reminds me of the Tonight Show. Like the way the Tonight Show was under Carson, the way the Tonight Show was under Leno. It was pleasant. It was okay to watch. It was hugely successful. It never turned me on artistically.
Charlie in Dallas, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, well, along those lines, why did it take you so long? Why he said that he had offered up, he tried many times to be on the show, but you never let him on. Why now, Gary?
That's actually not true.
He lies.
No. He may have his information incorrect. We had maybe the first or second time we tried to get on, we might have passed on him. Then we had him booked on 2 separate occasions before now in the last 3 years, and for whatever reason, at the last minute, he had to. I know one time he had to cancel because he was shooting a movie up in Boston, thought he'd be done sooner, he wasn't. And the time before that, I can't remember, but he'd been booked twice and had to cancel on his end, and then probably twice before that we didn't have him on.
How do you deal with allegedly losing $11 million to a close family member?
Not nearly as well as he's dealing with it.
Oh my God, yeah. And I know he couldn't talk about it because there's stuff pending, but
he still talked about it enough to, he couldn't talk about the details of it, but he'd talk about how he felt about his stepbrother. And he's like, man, I just want to get this behind me, and I'm all about moving ahead. $11 million, a lot of money. And Howard always brings this up, but you can look at it as a number and say, I had it, I never had that much, I had it, now it's gone. But Howard looks at it like, all the fucking clubs you had to work and all the hard work it took to get here. Howard looks at it like nickel by nickel, because you don't make $11 million overnight.
And who can you trust? You get to a certain point where, you think you can trust a family member, whatever it might be, but ultimately, he even said, he always envisioned having this deep, dark family secret, and God, be careful what you wish for.
Right, but then he also said that this was a person he'd spoken to every day of his life that he hadn't spoken to since this happened.
I'm really curious, and maybe this is one of the things he couldn't get into. Once he realized it, was there any confrontation between the two of them, or was it right to the police?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I guess he obviously couldn't talk about that because it's pending. But Will, if you know the answer to that, you can drop by. Scott in Florida, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hi, this is Scott from Margate, Florida. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just a general question. I've been listening to the show forever, and was actually a fan of Dane Cook. We had seen him down here in Palm Beach at filling out one of those local clubs. Then all of a sudden, he just took off and just went skyrocketing with his career. I was just wondering, with Artie and Howard often making fun of his success, his lack of being funny, what was the relationship in there when they walked into the studio, finally having Dane Cook in there and having to kind of, we think you're funny and, we appreciate your humor. Even one of the callers at the end of the hour actually said that Artie didn't think he was funny, and there was definitely some comments in the past with regard to them kind of making fun of Dane. How was it in the studio today?
First of all, I think it was. I don't think Howard ever fell into that category. I think Artie definitely did. Artie said that, he said in the past, like, he got famous on Facebook and this and that, and Artie, was pretty vocal about it. Then he ran into him a couple of times and met him, and he's like, I think the feeling is, Artie, you got to have respect for what he's accomplished, but he may not be as much of a fan of his comedy. But, I don't book a guest on the show so that we can throw rocks at him. Do you know what I mean? So if Artie felt that way, it's not really Artie's show, and it wouldn't be for Artie to say. And I know I see a lot of calls up here like, why didn't Artie come clean and tell him? But I wouldn't put a guy on the show so that we can have him come in here and then treat him like shit.
And Dane's a fan of the show.
Clearly.
He, I'm sure, has heard what Artie has said, Howard, Gary, whoever else, about his comedy. By the end of the interview, he's inviting him to come up on stage at the Garden.
Right.
Right.
That was kind of an interesting moment when Dane says to Artie, "You don't think I'm funny?" It was kind of.
And what
like
did Artie
that.
say?
I don't remember Artie's response. If Artie actually gave him a.
Did he go, have it?
I think he might have laughed. But I don't remember specifically what it was. But, Scott, you bring up a fair point, and, as Gary said, what Artie's always talked about respecting what Dane Cook has done sales-wise, his success, whatever else, but he's never been a huge fan of his, and I can't speak for the guy, but that's...
I mean, it's like music. There's like huge, successful music that it's a number one song, but just might not be what you're into.
Billy Ray Cyrus. But it's stuff like that. But again, it's my personal taste whether I'm a fan of the comedy or not. But the guy was a good guest, and I was one of the people probably fighting to have him. And I would say, when you come at a meeting, I think we should have this guy on. I think he's really hot. I think he's got interesting stuff going on. I think he'd make a good guest.
And his ladies' resume wasn't too bad either. And he said growing up he was an introvert and never really got out there. And then I guess when success hit, he was able to do pretty well.
Well, again, like, I didn't know a lot about him, so sometimes, and I've said on the show before, there've been many people that have come on that I've had one thought about, and when they leave, I have a different thought about. And I probably thought he was a little bit on the arrogant side, again, from the little I've seen of him. And I thought that story he told about how he was the wimpy kid and all the kids at school forced him to fight the other wimpy kid. How they were like, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, by the end of the interview, he's giving phone sex advice to Howard, and I think I pulled that, actually, Ted. Hit one. If you missed it, here's Dane Cook evaluating Howard's phone sex ability and giving him some pointers.
I have a very wide vernacular, so I know a lot of interesting
You watch
words.
a lot of porn.
Know a lot of the slang, the jargon. I'm a bit of a verbologist.
Yes, but with girls, you got to be careful. Like, you can't say the word
can't
cunt.
creep 'em out,
right?
yeah.
You
'Cause-
can.
You can?
If you say it lovingly, like, "Oh, baby, you're a cunt."
Yeah?
Like
That's the move?
But you gotta.
I wouldn't even try that.
Let me try
I
that.
think he's going to get you into trouble.
Let me try that. Oh, baby, you can't.
No.
No.
No good? What was the difference?
I don't know. You sound like you just sat on something. I love you, pussy.
So Howard not getting rave reviews from Dane when it comes to the phone sex.
I also love that he wouldn't fall for the Blue Iris tape. Yeah, he wasn't falling for that.
Well, first he thought it was a man, and then he's like, that's some 75-year-old whatever back there.
And in a way, he's correct.
May she rest in peace.
Actually, his phone sex skills were really good when he went into his actual phone sex.
You were
The
impressed?
scenario- yeah, I was. I thought he was talking out of his ass, but his phone sex, I thought.
Well, he's on the road quite a
started
bit.
A good scenario.
So maybe he's got that expertise. Robin said she'd hang up and immediately call the authorities or something like that.
I would bet the farm that Robin's had some pretty good phone sex.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about Scott the Engineer. After waiting for weeks, he finally got his clips played from his DJ stint out at Pure in Vegas. And Scott's pretty proud of himself, so we talked about what it was like hearing those clips played and having Howard, Fred, Artie, and everyone else goof on him for the umpteenth time. Here's how that conversation went. Gary, one, how badly did Scott want these clips played? And two, did Howard realize he was torturing him as day after day went by and those clips just stayed up on that page but never got heard?
Okay, going backwards, answering the last question first. Howard had no idea he was torturing him until somebody finally sent a note out last night telling us that. But it was one of those things that Howard meant to, get around to.
So Scott shouldn't have taken it personally.
No, we weren't not doing it. He just hadn't. And every time I would mention it to him in the morning during the break, Howard would go, "Oh yeah,